today's video is going to be me talking about how I moved to a different state, and I feel like this would be helpful if you're moving to a new state for college, even if it's a new city, anything of this sort. If you're just moving and you're kind of scared about it, I was scared too, and I hope that this kind of helps you and you'll get to know my story a little bit better. So let's go ahead and get started. I was born in Anaheim, California, and I moved to Las Vegas, Nevada in my senior year, right in the beginning. And I was very scared to move, but I made the decision for myself, and I really was missing my mom and my little brother, and I made the decision to move. And at first I always said that I would never move because moving to a new different state where you know nobody doesn't sound like fun, especially if I did have the chance to stay here, and I stayed here in Anaheim, California for about a year before I moved. So my mom and my stepdad and my little brother had lived there for about a year before I even moved there. I still was able to move because the school year in Las Vegas hadn't had started, and they started later, so I still had the opportunity to go and start in the beginning of the school year with everybody else. So I made the decision to move, and I moved to Las Vegas, and at first it was very weird. I didn't like it, actually. I was contemplating moving back. I was really homesick for a long time, and I more missed my friends and my family and just kind of the atmosphere. It's different when you move to a different state. The atmosphere is different, people act different. It's a different state. It's not where you live. And it took me a moment to adjust, and it took me a moment to feel like I was meant to be there. And I will get to that, because from where I started to where I ended is two completely different things. I started off being very homesick and not really even thinking that that was the right choice for me, but I had already started school, so I was like, maybe I should just stay and finish high school. It was so many different things in my head. So I want to say it was about 4 months into the school year, maybe 3. And I decided to get a job because I had already been working in Anaheim before that, but I had to quit my job once I started moving. And I decided to get a job because I didn't really have anything else to do. Since I was a senior in high school, I only had like 4 classes. Yeah, 4. And the normal amount to take at that school was 8. So I really left super early in the day. And we had block scheduling in Vegas, which I didn't have in Anaheim, so that was something else I wasn't used to. But we did have block scheduling in my school in Vegas, and I only had like 2 classes a day, and that was it. It was crazy. So I would leave one day I left a little bit earlier than the other day. So one of my days I left at, I want to say, like 9:50, and then my second day I would leave around like 11:50. But either way, I was leaving school way earlier than like a normal high school student. So I decided to get a job because obviously I had a lot of free time on my hands, and I didn't have any friends really, so I wasn't like hanging out with friends or anything like that. So I made the decision to start looking for a job, and I started kind of just applying everywhere that was around me. I had only had one job previous to that, so I was really applying everywhere, as in like grocery stores, food places, just about anything, like Target, all of those types of places. And the first callback that I had gotten was for the job that I actually got, and it was for Panera, and I did work for Panera. I worked for Panera for about 2 years, actually. I was there for quite a while, but once I got that job, I was a little bit happier. I was starting to get into a routine, basically, where I would go to school in the morning, go to Panera, work till about 8 o'clock at night, and then get off and go home and do it all over again, basically. And I started to like Vegas a lot more when I was getting into routine, and I started becoming friends with people at my job. And I had more friends at my job than I did at school, which sounds a little weird, but it's true. A lot of people my age worked at Panera. It was kind of either they were a few years older than me, or some of my coworkers I went to school with, actually. But Panera, actually, as much as I didn't really like working there, It did become really good for me because that's where I really met everybody that I was friends with or I am currently friends with. And it's weird to say, but I really got all my friends from my job. And if I was more open to talking to people, I would have got more friends from school, but mainly my friends were from my job. At school, I didn't really have too many friends. I didn't really hang out with anybody, but I did talk to some people in class, and I still talk to some of them. And once I graduated, Vegas actually became a little bit more my home. And not because I had graduated, but because I had to live there for about a year now. And I was getting used to it. It was like home, basically. And slowly, I started getting more and more friends, probably still through Panera, and if it wasn't from Panera, I was meeting them from friends that I met from my job. So from my friends from Panera, I still am very much friends with, I'd say like a good amount of them. I'd say like 5 of them probably. If I'm forgetting and it's more than 5 and you're watching this, I'm so sorry. I'm just saying it really quickly. I think it's 5 of you guys. But those basically became my friend group, and that's who I was basically hanging out with. And then at Panera, there was this new girl who started when I had lived there for about, I would say, a year and a half, probably, maybe a little bit over a year and a half. And I had already been graduated at this point. And I didn't like her at first. I'm not gonna lie to you. I now think it's just because our personalities are so the same that we were kind of clashing at first. And then once we started to talk, we realized that we're very much alike, and that's why we didn't really get along in the beginning, but that's also why she's my best friend now, and she knows exactly what I'm talking about, and she's gonna be texting me about this after. And we're not gonna say too many good things because she will text me about this, I promise you. But I did meet my best friend in Vegas, and it's very weird to say that because I never thought Vegas I could really meet anybody that I would really connect with, and it was a really weird situation for me, but her family became my family, and once I kind of met her, Vegas really felt like home. And it really felt like, wow, I could really live here for the rest of my life. And I wouldn't say just because of her, but she was a really big part in that, and where I really felt at home, and I really felt like I had a place. And Vegas really, I lived there for 3 years in total, and after the 3 years, once I found out that I was going to be moving back to Anaheim, California, that is where I currently live, and that's why it's kind of confusing and why I felt like talking about this, just because for one, I felt like it would be helpful for a lot of people if you're moving, and 2, because I feel like the story's a little weird. I was born in Anaheim, California, moved to Las Vegas for 3 years, and moved back. But after my 3 years of living in Vegas, it really became my home, and I really was very upset to leave. And a part of me felt like staying, and another part of me was like, wow, I'm gonna go home. And I came back because basically my stepdad and my mom separated, and that is why we moved back. And when we moved back, I was not sure if this is the right decision for me, and that was weird for me to even think about, because at first I thought moving to Vegas was going to be the worst decision I had ever made, but I just made it anyways. And it was super weird for me to be like, I don't know if I want to move back. And it was where I was born, it's where all my family was, and it was a weird experience. But Vegas really became my second home, and it really became home basically. For a while it was home, and I got used to it, and it was weird. So now that I'm back in Anaheim, it is still kind of weird that I live here again, and I'm still getting used to it, and I'm still getting back into a routine. I still haven't set down a routine yet, and I feel like that's why it feels weird still, but we're working on it. It's not terrible. It's not like Vegas. When I moved back here, I obviously knew everybody and all my family was here, so it wasn't weird in that sense, but getting used to it. But basically, my whole point of this video is if you're moving to a different city or a different state, either way, if you're just not going to be around a lot of people that you know or anybody that you're going to know, I really recommend you to do it. And I know it sounds weird, and a lot of people are probably going to be iffy or are iffy about moving away from their family and all their friends and everything, and it's scary. It really is. But it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. Not because it did end up good for me. It could end up bad for you. It did end up very good for me. I met my best friend. I met all of these amazing people. But I recommend to move because moving really pushed me out of my box. It really made me grow as a person. It just helped me in so many different ways than me just moving. And I had to get outside of my box to talk to people, to actually make a group of friends, to actually have a place, basically. And since I didn't know that many people, I spent a lot of time with myself. So I really got to know myself a lot when I first moved, because I was really my only person that I was hanging out with, and it made me grow, and it was an amazing experience. And it's gonna be scary, and it's scary for a little while. I'm not gonna lie to you, but once you kind of get used to it, you start getting into routine, you start meeting people. You don't have to meet your best friend in a different state. You can still be best friends when you're friends from home, but you start to create your friend group, basically, and you get into a routine, and it becomes home, and before you know it, you love it. And now, that's not with every place you can move, and it could be horrible. But wouldn't you rather say that you tried it and you didn't like it than I never tried it, so I never know if I'm gonna like it? So I really recommend for you guys, if you guys are thinking about moving, to move. It's not that bad of a decision. It's gonna take a little while to adjust, but I promise it's probably gonna be the best decision you've ever made. So now that I moved back to California, I always kind of get asked if I would move back to Vegas, and I'm not gonna lie, I would. I really would. Not anytime kind of soon, just because I just got a new job, and I feel like I need to be in Anaheim with my family right now. But I would say in about a year and a half, if I felt like Vegas was calling me, I would move. And I really would. And I wouldn't be scared about it. I would really move. And I'm still friends with a lot of people there. My best friend is there. And it's not scary anymore. And I would be up to moving to a whole completely different state. And I don't know what state I would move to, but I would be up for it. I would put it in consideration, just because it's not really scary anymore. It's like a growing experience, and I personally loved it. It's scary, and it's gonna be scary for a little while, but once you kind of make your friend group, it makes you meet a lot of new people too, because at first it's kind of like, ooh, these people are like different. At least for me it was. I don't know, the way that people act in Las Vegas is a lot different than they act in Anaheim. But if you are going to be moving for college, for any type of reason, if you're just moving, be ready to feel very uncomfortable, because you're not going to know anybody or know a significantly less amount of people. But just push yourself to be outside of your box. Push yourself to talk to people. It could be the person that's next to you in your class. Either you work with them, anything at all. And just talk to them. See if you guys connect. You guys don't have to be best friends, but you guys can hang out a little bit. You guys can help each other make more friends. If you make a friend with one person, they can introduce you to their friend group, and all of a sudden you have a friend group. And it's a lot easier than said than done, but just push yourself outside your box, and I promise you that you will find your place. If you have moved and you feel like you don't belong anywhere, you will find your place. And I hope you guys enjoyed me kind of talking about my little Vegas story, basically, and I hope it was clear and you guys understood me and understood the whole situation, basically. And I will basically talk to you guys later. Please leave me any other video requests down below, and if you guys did like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and make sure to be subscribing, guys. It is that red box right down below that says subscribe. If it is red, you aren't subscribed, and right next to it is the notification bell. Go ahead and click it and you will be notified every single time I upload a video. Now I hope to see you guys in my next one, and bye!